This is actually the main part I always like when I come to St. Augustine, the historic district. This is the place where you find the finest restaurants in Florida. This is the place when you come, it's very cozy, it's a tourist attraction. And then this is the only place you can find English, Spanish, whatever the name of the language is, blend together. I love coming to St. Augustine, but I can tell you this. For the past 10 years, I watched St. Augustine increasingly becoming a mega metropolis. I never had to worry about traffic at all until the last 3 years. It's such a wonderful place. But what I really want us to see, not just those tourist buses and the buggies. I come here just to show the differences between then and now, and the changing demographic in St. Johns County.
As part of an ongoing effort to find out how the Democratic Party is preparing for this in the South for the upcoming midterm election, I have been on the road trying to speak to regional leaders of the party. So the first thing I did was to go to the Democratic Party headquarters in St. Johns County, Florida. I chose St. Johns because this county represents the mirror reflection of the changing demography in the South. 10 years ago, St. Johns County could have been very well described as the traditional southern county where the dames were almost all blue dogs. Now I must say it is difficult to make this assertion. North St. John is increasingly becoming suburban Jacksonville, very affluent with exclusive communities popping up like mushrooms in the morning dew. In the logic of democratic politics, affluent neighborhoods translate into votes for the damned. But I have to say, I disagree with this strategy because it sounds sleazy, very opportunistic, which seems to indicate that the dames do not care much about America's heartland, the rural areas where poverty-stricken communities are. And these are the people who would benefit the most from the Democratic Party platform. So when I arrived at the party's office, I immediately went into Nell Seymour, the Democratic Party chairwoman of St. Johns County. And there was another woman sitting behind a small desk playing cards from an old computer. She seemed to have been very focused on the game. So I introduced myself as a progressive dame of St. Augustine who's interested in seeing how the campaign is going. Nell greeted me with such a very broad smile and soon went on to explain the winning strategy for November. So after 15 minutes, the woman who was playing cards pulled out of the chair and then appeared ready to talk. She was gleeful, for she had won the game. She then walked to me and introduced herself as Claire Sutherland, canvassing coordinator of St. Johns County, as Nell looked on still smiling. She then showed me a map with addresses of registered Democrats in St. Johns County. She went on to explain the strategy of how to get the dames to the poll in November. And I also have to say that she also showed me a paper, not with statistics, but with actual numbers of where the Republicans are, where the Democrats are, and where the independents are. So in that list, it showed 96,000 registered Republicans for St. Johns County, 42,000 registered Democrats for the county, and 40,000 registered independent also for the county. So which means if you combine independent with the Democrats, then you have a chance to challenge the Republican. In this era of confusion, lots of Republicans remain confused, and you can still manage, if you do the legwork as you're supposed to, you can still grab some of them into your camp to win in November. So I asked Nell if she was aware of a Blue Wave meeting that was going to take place on Saturday in North St. John at the World Golf Village. She said she knew nothing about it. Both women seemed surprised, so I asked them if there is a coordinator between, in other words, if there is a coordination between the different groups of the county. Both women say with one voice, they do their things, so we do our own things. So they appear to believe that in blue dog politics, not progressive politics or even liberal democratic politics. So that was confirmed on that Saturday during the meeting in North St. Johns. Robin Dion, a woman named Robin Dion, who's from the Point Vidra area on the far eastern northeast corner of the county. She's the Blue Wave coordinator of St. John, and she was the person also headed the meeting. So according to our dean who was present at the meeting, about a dozen folks were in attendance. Like everywhere else, the dames in St. Johns County are composed of blue dogs, traditional liberal Democrats, and progressive Dems. In fact, the progressive Dems have their own caucus. So our dean is going to tell us exactly how the meeting went back last Saturday.
My first experience with the Dems in St. Augustine was that I went to the Blue Wave meeting that was around my neighborhood, and in that meeting there were the neighbors who were Democrats and also the leader of the Blue Wave division in St. Johns County, who was Robin Dion. She had talked about strategies and how the Democrats in St. Johns County can go and hand out flyers, and she also gave out, the hand wrists and also a special pencil for us to take home. And I was asking questions in regards to, what can the Democrats do? What are we supposed to say while going door to door? And she couldn't really give an answer. And as I was asking her questions, she kept reiterating to me that I should go to the Andrew Gilliam event in Jacksonville, which is a free event in Jacksonville. I believe that she kept reiterating this to me because he was an African-American Democratic governor candidate, and that he was also black. So I felt that she said this to me because I was black, and I was kind of taken back by it. Other people were asking questions too in regards to what they can do, but she couldn't really get a straight answer. Even her husband couldn't really explain what we were supposed to do as Democrats in order to fix the situation in November. And after the meeting was over, she said that I was well-spoken and that I really do have a future in speaking, and that she was going to refer to me to her friend Carrie, who was her African-American sister. And I was kind of taken back by it, and I felt that it was kind of racist for her to say that to me, and I felt like she was just trying to say this to me because I was black, and that I should be happy about this. But in reality, I really wasn't happy about that at all. The second experience I had was with Jason, who is the St. Johns County campaign coordinator for the Democratic Party. And I really liked that experience a lot. And we talked about strategies that the Democrats are going to be using in St. Johns County. He also discussed ways that the Democrats should be doing in November in regards to immigration policy, racial inequality, and also for education. And it was a great meeting. I felt really energized by that meeting and experience with Jason. The interview was really great, and I was also able to record that as well. About 5 minutes after I drove off from the office, I get a text message saying that anything that we discussed about can't be used publicly, or can't be used for distribution purposes. And I felt that was kind of odd because he did agree to me to record the interview, and he didn't have a problem with me with recording the interview as well. So that was just my experience with the Democrats in St. Johns County.
And so to sum it up, the Dems are there in St. Johns County. And if we combine the Dems with the independents, they are very well competitive against the Republicans. Politics is a game, not a cognitive exercise. If politics were an intellectual business, Donald Trump, of course, would not have been president. So to me, unless the Dems in North Florida find a common strategy, it is hard to see how they can win in November.